good afternoon, wherever you might be watching us. Thank you for joining us here on the Alamitos.com preview show. I'm your host, Jose Contreras, alongside the voice of Los Alamitos, Mike Wrona. First of all, nice selection on the show last week. That was a key start of the pick six. It was capture the sea, getting the job done.
Thanks, Jose. Yes, that was the first leg on that big carryover night. Unfortunately, the value evaporated because he was 5-2 on the morning line, but the morning line favourite scratched. And as a result, Capture the Sea went off at a short quote, but he did the job required of him.
He did. He made a nice bid like we expected. Some of the actually, I think the morning line favorite and maybe the second or third choice scratch out of that event. So key contender scratched out. A lot of the money went to Capture the Sea, but still, it wasn't the easiest of trips, but he looked good rallying on the outside.
Yeah, it wasn't a big margin of victory, but they pay on the placings, don't they? And he got his picture taken.
They do, for sure. And when you look at the charts, you just look that he won, right? It doesn't matter the margin of victory. A winner is a winner.
Yes, and it was part of such a fun night, Jose. The crowd for the Halloween contest and the quality and range and imagination with regard to the costume contest, really amazing. I was very impressed.
I enjoyed it. I am obviously on the set there, and I was on the set by Christopher Wade. We'll talk to Chris in a moment. We had a good weekend there, Chris and I, on the set. So we're on the other side of the apron, where the Halloween carnival is really on the other side of the apron, and we could see from our vantage point, it looked crowded. It looked like a fun time was to be had out there in the carnival.
Absolutely, and I've got to give a tip of the hat to Pegasus and the ingenuity in draping a ghost beneath one of the drones. It kept flying across all of the activities and action, and it looked fantastic on TV and in person.
Yeah, it really did. Thank you to everybody who put it together, the good Halloween Carnival. And I think it was a little bit earlier than years past, but it was because the next weekend, this upcoming weekend, was so close to Halloween itself that maybe there was a lot of events going on that might take away from the actual, crowds coming over and visiting Lo's house. So it landed well. The turnout was terrific. I think all in all, it was a great success.
Oh, 100%.
All right, let's get down to business. Before we get to this week's election, Professor G, Orlando Gutierrez, our Director of Marketing and Publicity, got word from the racing office that they drew for the big one, the Golden State Million Futurity, on Sunday. So that race has already been drawn. The rest of the card hasn't been finalized just yet, Michael, but we do have a graphic courtesy of Orlando Gutierrez here about the post position order for that Golden State Million Futurity on Sunday.
Great, let's take a look.
There it is. Golden State Million Futurity, Sunday night. AB Wow from the Rel. Hot Prodigy, Gate 2. Think About Kevin in Gate 3. Mr. Parissimo in Gate 4. Unrelentless in Gate 5. Famous Cartel Jesse in Gate 6. Trane Station V, the impressive Trane Station V in Gate number 7. Relentless Coronado in Gate 8. Favorite City, the long shot winner to begin the night of trials at 20-something to 1, if I remember correctly, from the Rel, draws Gate 9, and then Good Time draws the outside post. That is the field, the post position order for Sunday's Golden State Million Futurity.
Yes, that was a selection of yours, as I recall. Favorite City, the first trial winner. I know you liked that filly. She is half to Apolitical Pence, correct?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. But look, it's just impossible to go past Trane Station V. He will be the favourite. He'll be the clear favourite, and he will be the deserving favourite. It's a little like 5 Bar Supreme in the Wild West Futurity last Sunday night, whereby the trial win was so dominant, so superior in time and visual impression to anything else that attempted to qualify, that you can't really, it's hard to make a winning case for another horse. And, I'm always trying to find angles and reasons that other horses can move up and improve and represent a value play. But in the case of 5 Bar Supreme last Sunday, it was nigh on impossible to pick against him. And I think it's going to be the same scenario with Trane Station V in the Golden State Million Futurity. I think he has the race at his mercy.
Yeah, it is. It kind of looks that way. Obviously, they still have to run the race, and he's drawn in gate 7. And he's not always the most professional gate horse. Even on trials night, he wasn't the quickest, but he was just so much more powerful, much more developed than the rest that he made an impressive win. So to remind you, the clocking was 19.742, 19.742 by Trane Station V. The second fastest was AB Wow in 19.93. So 19.74 versus 19.93. That tells you the gap from the fastest qualifier to the second fastest qualifier.
Yeah, that is a chasm.
Yes. That's about length and a half, give or take, almost 2 lengths. As far as the if you want to quantify the margin of victory and the margin of fastest qualifying to second time fastest qualifying time, you're talking between a length and a half to almost 2 lengths between Trane Station V, fastest, and the second fastest, which is AB Wow. Professor G also caught up with the respective trainers of both of those top 2 qualifiers and more, and Heath Taylor and Eddie Willis. So let's catch up. Courtesy of Orlando Gutierrez, here's Heath Taylor.
Just as advertised, Trane Station V with just a jaw-dropping effort. Heath, tell me what you saw.
Yeah, the horse is obviously he's a really talented colt, and he's run really well at Ruidoso. The horse still hasn't learned how to break at all. Talked to Francisco about it in the paddock, and he said again tonight he just broke very, very average. He just said he just stands there and watches the doors open. He said that, obviously after that, tremendous acceleration, and then first time at night, first time in California, a lot of new things for the horse. So. He said he got down here and got to looking a little bit at the tote board and wanted to get out. He said he had to tap him one time to kind of keep him focused, but it was just a very talented horse. Obviously, he's got a lot of speed and ability, and he looked magnificent. We need to work on the break, but I guess eventually he'll get it down.
When he first arrived from New Mexico, very nice, easy time kind of acclimating into...
Settle in super, ate well, very gentle, smart horse. Pretty low maintenance. It's been a dream. They sent him out, and there's no special instructions or anything, and he's just been a really nice horse.
If I could bother you about Think Again, Kev, also one of the top times so far.
Yeah, the horse, he ran really, really well. We changed a little bit of equipment on the horse. He'd been getting in the front and kind of hanging and stopping. And so, I thought the last race at 350 he was in front and he got caught. And I thought in the kindergarten he 300, but we changed a bunch of stuff up. And so it was a little bit apprehensive, but he left in front and stayed in front and finished really well. So I was really tickled with his effort at 400 tonight.
Thanks so much. For the Golden State Million, you can bet that Eddie Willis is right there in the middle of it all. Right now, AB Wow with the second fastest time after Trane Station post the fastest time. But what a great effort from that great horse.
Yeah, he ran really good. Mike Joyner sent that horse out here to me, and he said he doesn't break very well, but he can really run. But he broke good tonight, and he ran good. So
just the way he was eating up ground in the second half of the race.
Yeah, he was really running good at the last part. So
you had a lot of horses that are in these trials. I counted, I believe, 18 that you may have had in these trials. 17. There we go. What's the key for you when you bring these horses in, getting them acclimated, getting them a little bit of experience, whether it be an out or a race? What's the key to getting these horses?
Well, I run these horses at Ruidoso, most of them, and usually from there to here, they really don't have to acclimate much. It's more, your sea level here, so it's better. And then, we worked some of them here, and some of them we didn't, because we ran them there right at the end of the meet, so I just let them come in here without work, and, I brought a pretty good set of horses, so.
All right, Michael, good to catch up there with both Heath Taylor and Eddie Willis. Both have some of the best qualifiers to the big final. First, let's focus in on Heath Taylor. Obviously, he's still saying there's room to improve with Trane Station V about the break. If he figures it out even more, good luck to the rest of them.
Indeed. And he pretty much echoed what you said when we were chatting just a few minutes ago about how that's certainly not the strongest point or part of his race. And And Eddie Willis, interestingly, said similar about AB Wow.
Yeah.
These horses are new acquisitions for both trainers, but they both put their best hoof forward in their low sale debuts. So you've got to presume that they won't take a backward step. Although AB Wow does have the theoretical disadvantage of going from that nice wide open path down the middle of the track in the trail to having to deal with gate 1 in the final. That you would think makes the task just even more daunting for the grey horse in gate 1.
For sure. And that's a beautiful gray AB Wow is. Should we read anything into the fact that I believe, was it Justine? She was aboard AB Wow, right? But she ends up on Unrelentless in gate 5.
I can't remember, Jose, off the top of my head, what those riding assignments were in the final. This is our first look at this field with the post position draw, and we haven't yet seen Ed Burgart's morning line odds. But so no, off the top of my head, I can't really comment on Kleber or any of the other jockeys.
Yeah, I'm just kind of just reading in between the lines. You know me, I try to read in between lines immediately as soon as I see something. So we'll figure everything out once the PPs are official, morning line is out, and all that good stuff is out in the next coming day or so. But there's an early look at the post position order of the Golden State Million Futurity here to be run at Los Alamitos on Sunday night. And thank you for those interviews for Orlando Gutierrez with both Heath Taylor and Eddie Willis.
For sure.
All right, back to the task at hand. Saturday night, October 28th is the card we're going to take a look at. We have a 10-race program here for this Saturday evening. You're going to take us to the nightcap. You're going to make us wait all the way to the last race for your selection of the night. Give us a preview of who it is.
Yeah, well, we got the first leg of the pick 6 last week, so I thought I'd just go to the opposite end of the sequence for this Saturday night, which is an allowance race at 300 yards for 2-year-olds who've not won 2 races. And there are several horses that look very talented, but I like the value in the outside post position, Jose, for Lethally Tempted, number 8. Ed Burgart has pinned him at 9-2. This horse won a Futurity trial at Ruidoso on career debut, then placed in another Futurity trial there before a 3-month layoff. He came to Los Alamitos in early October without a local workout and was odds-on favourite for an allowance. You've got to take in plenty as we watch this replay from start to finish. It's an eyeful. It was quite an adventure from gate number 4. The horse began moderately and then, to my eye, just raced ungenerously throughout, wanting to drift out, repeatedly bumping with the horse on his outside. The winner, the 7 horse in the gold colours, was drifting in, which probably compounded the problems there in the middle of the field. Look at him under a throttle hold over the wire.
And you could tell he was starting to find his best rhythm late, but unfortunately there wasn't a path. And maybe we could argue that if he path, he could have, get into the exacta try, or maybe he'll finish a little bit better. Maybe he wasn't going to win that race, but you could tell he had more run to give.
Oh, I think he had a lot more to give. Again, if you watch the jockey in the closing 50 yards, he's absolutely got the horse under a stranglehold. He just couldn't finish the race off. He had no options of where to go. And I think that this horse with a clear path down the outside from gate 8 can really take a serious step forward. Again, he hadn't had a workout at Los Alamitos coming into the race, hadn't been run for 3 months. So I think there's tremendous scope for improvement.
And why don't we show the head-on as well to see exactly how its trip looked via head-on. So here's the head-on. And again, he was in gate number 4 here.
Yeah. Gate 4, white blinkers. And you see him wanting to get out a little bit there. Then he gets crowded from the outside. He gets bumped a couple of times. Then he himself shifts out pretty sharply and is left with no path late. The jockey just wasn't asking him for anything in the closing stages. And we never got a chance to see what the horse could do. But keep in mind, he was sent off an odds-on favorite in that race. He took a lot of money, and now we're looking at 9-2 from the outside post.
And these are the kind of runners that I personally, I say, you know what? I'm going to get an outside post. I don't know what I'm going to get out of him, but I have to back him just for the sake that he might get this is his opportunity to get the ideal trip or the ideal clean trip, possibly from that outside post.
Yes, indeed. Now, I mentioned earlier that there are some tough nuts to crack in this field.
Yeah.
The morning line favorite, number 5, AB Seis Corazones, was 4th in a $1.2 million race at Remington Park in June, the Heritage Place Futurity, after an extremely impressive trial win to that race. He has the power-packed combination of owner Dunn Ranch and trainer Monte Rosa, and he does have local works in preparation for his first start at Los Alamitos. And the second one choice on the morning line, Warrior Soul number 7, is coming off a third place finish behind Double Down 1, 2, 3 and Southern Divine in a PCQHRA Breeders' Futurity trial. That's strong form as well. So lethally tempted, even with a clean trip and an even chance, will still have his hands full. These are legitimate horses that he's knocking heads with. But I still think that 9-2 from the outside post, based on that trouble from start to finish throughout his local debut under the lights, I think he's the value play for sure.
I like it. I like your analysis. You're selling me even more. So I'm jumping along with you. Hopefully that's not too much weight on Lethally Tempted here at 9-2 from the outside post.
All right. Well, let's give him strength and hope for a winning night on Saturday.
Yeah, I hope so. So that's going to be the last leg of the Pick 6 on Saturday night, and also the last race, obviously, of the night with that 10-race program. Michael, from your vantage point, up there with the bird's eye view, you got a sense of the Halloween Carnival. I feel like it could have been maybe 1 time to 2 times larger the crowd that we got last year.
Yeah, it was a bigger crowd than last year. I mean, there was a long line of contestants that were entering the winner's circle in between the horse races for the different categories of costume contests. And, of course, a lot of other carnival games and things going on, which I didn't have a clear view of down on the apron, but I could certainly hear all of the activity and fun, and the atmosphere was great. And I think it was a rousing success.
It was. Thank you to all the volunteers that helped out. Of course, management team, Orlando Gutierrez, Kathy Manji, Aubrey, everybody that's over there organizing that event year in, year out, and all the volunteers. We had a lot of barns sponsoring a lot of the games, so thank you to them. It really turns out to be a great family community event. And every year, the community comes out and supports Los Alamitos. So that's one. And it benefits the youth center, the local youth center as well. So all in all, great night. It was fun to be on track there, without a doubt. All right, Michael, best of luck with Lethally Tempted. Hopefully you get a good trip. And if you get a good trip, I'll be backing that one as well.
Good stuff. I'll see you Saturday night under a full moon.
Oh, that's true. Have a good night. See you Saturday.
Hooroo.
The Los Alamitos traditional Pick 6 continues to rise. On July 2nd, a carryover of nearly $15,000 led to a total pool of over $150,000. On July 9th, a carryover of $15,000 led to a total pool of nearly $160,000. Plus, with no jackpot provisions, the Los Alamitos Pick 6 can pay big time every time. And if we don't have a carryover going into Sunday night, we'll add $10,000 to the pool. That's right, the fast-rising Los Alamitos Pick 6 is one of the country's best.
Yes, that's right. The Pick 6 has been well supported here by the players. That's why we had some large carryovers in the last couple of weeks here at Los Alamitos. Welcome back to the program. Now joined by your Los Alamitos analyst, Christopher Wade. Chris, well done on the last weekend. We had a good time working together on the FanDuel set. It was a good night on Sunday specifically. Both your best bet and your price play got the job done, and numerous top picks throughout the card. So well done to you.
Yeah, well, it's all part of the game, Daddy, as they say in one of my favorite movies, Let It Ride. Sometimes the numbers were kind of on a Saturday, and we came back in Sunday and hopefully made up for it with I think we had 7 tops and 2 second choices on the 10 race card.
Yeah, it was a good play. Your late pick 4 on there came back over $200 for a $24 investment, just under $200 in pure profit. So well done to you on a fun night, not only on track, but also through the FanDuel TV signal. And of course, we're back at it here this week. You'll have your selections and nightlines as far as the simulcast signal. And let's get time to talk about this Saturday night. We talked to Mike Wrona about the 10-race program. We kind of previewed a little bit about the post positions of the Golden State Million Futurity, which are out. But just to circle back and kind of get your thoughts on that final, Trane Station V is just going to be very, very difficult to beat with any kind of similar run.
Anything close. I know he's not the best breakers, but he's got so much talent. He stands out on the numbers above the field by over a length and a half or so. And the scary part about it was, in his trial, he wasn't even asked to run.
Yeah,
very, very impressive. He's going to be triple tufted an eye in the finale on Sunday night.
Yeah, there it is. Once again, the graphic there. The post position order. Thank you to the racing office and Orlando Gutierrez for creating this graphic. As Trane Station V drew gate 7 for Sunday's Golden State Million Futurity. Okay, let's talk Saturday night program here at Los Alamitos. Your play will be in race number 8 is where you're going to take us. So let's take a look at this 300-yard maiden event for the quarter horses. We got a field of 6 runners. Yeah, 6 runners here going 300 yards. 8-5 favorite in Cohesive Cartel in gate 2. The second choice is Ivory Spirit on the rail. But I know you like the 5 here. Right on.
I'm going to give this horse. He's one of those horses you give him one more chance. One more chance. This horse has got 11 lifetime starts. And of those 11 starts, this well-meant trouble-prone runner deluxe there for Scott and the doctor has been troubled in 5 of those, pretty much all the starts, but he's been a horse to watch in 5 of those 11, including a last effort when a pretty good second to a well-meant winner. And he did it with a good amount of trouble along the way. He got fractious, he got bumped, he got forced in away from the gate, he was skiing, but he leveled out strongly late on his own. He galloped off very, very well. And on my number, the track variant, the track was very, very slow over a length, but a length and a half slow that night. So everything factored in. His number's not. He's much, much better looked.
Here it is, this replay for September 3rd, race number 8. She was in gate 2 of this 6-horse field here. Tell us what you saw.
Yeah, this horse got a little fractious as per usual inside the gate. Yeah, broke slow. He got bumped inward, kind of forced in away from the gate. Lost over a length and a quarter or so. And we're kind of slow on the stride, but he's a big-bodied, well-meant, well-connected, good looker. He put forth a big run midway, and you can see him back bobble, bumped inward away from the gate, and then kind of brushed by the rail runner. But he showed some decent speed despite that troubled start. And it was under a hand shove throughout and was finishing well and held on nicely for second versus a well-met long-gone winner. But with everything factored in, he galloped out very, very well. This horse has got he's got talent. See him gallop out right there into and through the turn where first is the 1-5 favorite. So he was up against a quality runner. He was the second choice. He broke slow after getting fractious, forced inward, and slow on the stride. But showed nice front foot under a hand shove throughout and was finishing well. Galloped out very, very strong. So if this horse could just exit the barrier in decent fashion, he's got to look at the upset there in that 8th event.
And looking. She was just second best to that 1-5 favorite, so no shame in that. But the trouble, you could have argued that she would have put a battle, right? She would have made it a much closer with any kind of cleaner break versus that big favorite.
Yeah, I watched this horse twice, and both my numbers, I gave the horse with everything factored in, 23 trouble, and a quarter's length on my numbers is 0.14, so that's over a length. That's like a length and a half, and the horse got beat by about that margin. So horse very well could have been a factor, and it gave that heavy favorite look at the outcome with a decent getaway. And let's just hope one more time, right age and lucky lifetime start number 12, could be a factor there against a pretty good group of maidens in that 8th event.
All right. From the 2 favorites, the 1 and the 4, who scares you the most? If you just had to compare those 2.
I would have to say Cohesive Cartel. This horse broke cocaine inward away from the gate last time and finished it. He galloped out pretty well, so that would be the main contender. Drawn up against the horse I have to worry the most about in my charts. And we'll give it a go on the 8th event there on Saturday night.
All right, that's right on Chris's pick for race number 8. That is part of the late pick 4, part of the pick 6 as well. So right on. If she can break anywhere cleanly, and that's been one of her nemesis, throughout, if you look at her charts throughout her career, there's the slow breaks, the breaking in, the breaking out. So some of those trips, have been her own fault, but a few of them have been because of unlucky trips. So maybe drawn in gate 5 towards the outside could help her here.
Yeah, if she could get out of the gate like she did back in March, and the horse actually only had like about half a length of trouble. This horse could be a factor at a nice medium price there for Scott and the Doctor there in that 8th event, second leg of the late pick 4.
All right. Best of luck with Right On, your play of the night, your single there. And race and rate. All right. Let's talk about simulcast signals. We had a good night on the desk, also handicapping the harness, which is something we don't usually do, but you had a good night handicapping Hawthorne harness. Simulcast, though, for the nightlines, what are you tackling this week?
Well, this week we're tackling race 3 through 12 at Lone Star, the last 3 at Evangeline, and then we got the last 3 at Albuquerque. But I got a long shot looker going 550 yards, one of my favorite distances. Horse is 20-1 in the program. He's my 3rd pick of my selections. But with everything factored in, this horse can just get out of the gate in decent fashion, going 550 on the stretch out. Horse has a look at a big price to grab a slice of the pie up against Blue Duck and the second choice there in the last race, going 550 on Saturday at Evangeline. So give a quick look to our selections there on the Nightline program and on the website.
Sounds good. All right, Chris, best of luck with Ride On and Race and Rate on Saturday night. And we'll see you back here at Los Alamitos this weekend.
All right, boys. You have a good night.
The Los Alamitos traditional pick 6 continues to rise. On July 2nd, a carryover of nearly $15,000 led to a total pool of over $150,000. On July 9th, a carryover of $15,000 led to a total pool of nearly $160,000. Plus, with no jackpot provisions, the Los Alamitos pick 6 can pay big time every time. And if we don't have a carryover going into Sunday night, we'll add 10 grand to the pool. That's right, the fast-rising Los Alamitos pick 6 is one of the country's best.
Welcome back. Now let's take a look at one of the horses that I'm going to key off on Saturday night for part of the pick 6. It's not in the early pick 4. It's not in the late pick 4. So this will become a pick 6 single for me because of the race that it lands. And lands in race number 6. So it's in between the early and the late pick 4 sequence. But it's part of that middle type of race that you can overlay mid-card doubles, overlay rolling pick 3s, and of course the pick 6 sequence as well. I'm going to go to race number 6. So race number 6 is a 300-yard maiden claiming event going for a tag of 62.50. I'm going to the 4 horse here, Galenana. Now Galenana is a slight 7-5 choice on the morning line versus the 2 PW Dinamita, even though the 2 comes out of a better finish overall, where she finished a 3rd beaten ahead. I like the 4 Galenana on that effort, based on that effort on September 23rd. Let's take a look at the replay there. Back on September 23rd, Galenana was in gate number 2 in this field of 7 runners. And in this spot, she's going to break in inwards here from gate number 2. And I just thought she had, she broke out fine, but she never truly got into a good rhythm here. Past the gap, she's trying to level out right here because she's still green, kind of getting floated out and intimidated by the inside horse. And at that point, Ruben Lozano was on the brakes. Like he was leaning back in the saddle. He was pulling on the reins. He never really got down to riding in the second half of that race. And I felt like she had more run to give here. I'll run it back once again here at full speed. Gate number 2, Galenana. Well, she was 9-1 in this field. So the break is fine, right? But she's kind of leaning sideways. Now here's where she has an opportunity to respond, but she gets intimidated by the inside runner. And, Ruben Lozano is not asking at all here in the second half. I don't know if she would have won this race, but she probably would have finished 3rd, maybe in the mix for 2nd if everything goes perfectly. The winner was Rios Renegade as the even money favorite. So she just looked uncomfortable. She never leveled out. I thought she had an opportunity to maybe show much more than what we saw in that 4th place finish. So I'm going to give her a look here as my key single for Saturday night. She's in race number 6, gate number 4, Galenana. And again, I just think she's got more run to give. And also, this is the first time that she drops to that 62.50 level. She's been a maiden 16, maiden 10, straight maidens, and then maiden 10, where all the other runners have competed at 62.50 at least once. PW Anita recently, even before that. Actually, I'll take that back. Pepper Barbaro has not competed against 60 to 50 claimers before. And actually, the 1, the 3, the 4, and the 5 all come out of the same common event. So the 1, 2, 4, and 5 in this field of 5 all come out of the same common event. Galinana was the best finisher out of all those 4 runners. The only runner that is not exiting that race is PW Dinamita, who just finished 3rd by a head in a field of 5 against 60 to 50 claimers. So Galinana will be my lock of the night. In race number 6, she is listed at 7-5 on Ed Burghart's Morning. That will be part of the pick 6 sequence, and also let me see, is it part of the mid-card double? It is. So it's the second leg of the mid-card double. So that will be the payoff leg of the mid-card double in race number 6 with Galinana, the 4-horse, for Valentin Zamudio and Ruben Lozano. That's going to do it for us here on the Los Alamitos Weekend Preview Show. Thank you to the Racing Office and Orlando Gutierrez for sending us that graphic about the draw of the Golden State Million Futurity. That is coming up on Sunday night. Saturday night, 10 races on the card. Approximate post time right around 6 p.m. local time following the racing action here from Santa Anita across town. Thank you to Christopher Wayne and Mike Wrona. Best of luck with all your wagers this upcoming weekend on Los Alamitos. And we'll see you next week here on the LosAlamitos.com preview show. Have a good rest of your day.